Hey guys, how's it going? Flying Ryan here. Happy New Year's Eve. I gotta say, this will probably be the first time ever that I won't be staying up to watch the ball drop, so that'll be interesting. Because I actually got a race tomorrow morning, and it's gonna be in Queens. Originally, I thought it would be in Manhattan, and that's the thing about being in New York. When you say New York City, a lot of people will just assume Manhattan, but forget that there's four other boroughs. Anyways, it should be fun. It's a half marathon race. And the thing is, originally I was planning on tapering for it, and now just so much stuff has happened that my original plan has completely gone to shit. Sorry for my language. But basically, at this point, I feel like I've just missed so many days with working overtime the last 3 weeks before coming to New York, and then also just getting hit with a terrible respiratory illness, which really had me struggling for like several days. And now I would say for the most part, I have recovered from that illness. I've gone back to training, but then I would say overdid it a little bit. Today is Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. The race starts at 9 a.m. and it's actually at a place called Flushing, or I think Corona Park, around the Flushing area. And yeah, I think I talked about it in my last video, but the part about it that sounds terrible is the fact that it's going to be like, so it says literally on the description, it's going to be a 0.36 mile loop to start, and then it's just going to be 10 1.25 mile loops, which, just the thought of that is just, oh my God, it's already making me want to puke. Not because of the race, just running 10 laps just sounds terrible. It'd probably be even worse if you're doing that for a full marathon. But anyways, we're gonna have a good time. I actually just, yeah, I would say heading towards this race, my goal is I wanted to hit a new PR. My current PR for the half marathon is 1 hour, 17 minutes, 25 seconds, which I did talk about earlier, and that was for the Dam to Des Moines. This course is supposed to be flat and fast, but the weather does not seem to be, at least as of now, it does not seem to be favorable conditions. It's supposed to be 25 degrees, which doesn't sound terrible, but then it's based on, there's supposed to be a lot of wind. So because of that, it's supposed to be 10 degrees. And my thing is the wind is really the worst. In fact, if it was 10 degrees without any wind, that actually wouldn't be that bad. It's just the wind really just, yeah, the wind sucks. So hopefully we'll, yeah, do our best to get through that. And I would say just because of the wind, I might even just wear my thermal gear throughout the race, which, yeah, I normally, even if it's cold, I normally always prefer to wear, be as light as possible. So just wear the tank top and shorts. But I would say, yeah, if it was not terribly windy, then that would probably be the game plan. But just because of the wind, I've noticed that wind, even if you are running, yeah, it's just, yeah, it'll make your life miserable. So even for the race, I might end up wearing the thermal gear, depending on how it actually is. Now, I would say the main thing I'm here to talk about is, yeah, it's New Year's Eve, so a lot of people talk about their New Year's resolutions. Honestly, for me, like a big thing is I think a lot of people might have resolutions of wanting to get more fit or go to the gym more or maybe run more. And for me, I feel like I don't want to brag, and I think those are all great resolutions. But for me, I feel like I'm already doing enough of that. And I obviously have my goal with wanting to get to that elite level. But I would say the biggest resolution that I personally need to work on is just my mindset. I feel like I have a lot of negative thoughts, and that just tends to hold me back. And I don't like to be general and say positive and negative, but I do have a lot of just destructive thoughts that just aren't very helpful, which I do feel like is actually physically slowing me down as well. Because when you're constantly revved up, that can lead to more illnesses. At the end of the day, like I eat pretty healthy and I exercise a lot. So that obviously can boost immunity. Plus, I've been getting really good sleep, so that helps as well. But yeah, from what I've learned, revving up your central nervous system and just getting stressed out and the bad stress. So not there's eustress and there's distress. So that distress, it spikes cortisol levels. And not only that, it's just not really good for you. And I'd say that's just something I'm really trying to work on because obviously it's not fun to be stressed all the time. To me, running is a good stress, so I love it. Or like a wedding or something. Like that's like a good stress. But like this stress is more just not really good stress, more like anxiety and also just lots of, looping negative thoughts. And yeah, this is definitely very personal for me, but I just wanted to share that because I feel like even if I have like really good thought control, like that doesn't mean I will never get sick because I'm a human being. And now there's so many people nowadays, and yeah, airports and all this stuff. But it can definitely reduce and really boost immunity. And obviously, being sick sucks because that takes away time from training. For me, I'm very active. It even limits doing activities that for me would normally be nothing, and it even limits that. And yeah, and also the other thing is like it can lead to a lot of tightness and physical pain. And again, that doesn't mean even if you're again you have really good thought control, you're still gonna feel tightness, pain, all that stuff, because that's just part of the journey, the level of training I want to do. But at the same time, it can help reduce it significantly. And I've noticed myself that just the powerful connection between like your thoughts and mindset. And it's not even as simple as like my running mindset. It's literally my thoughts throughout the entire day. And it's not even just about running, it's just about life in general. And yeah, I would say that's my New Year's resolution. Anyways, as far as the race, yeah, basically I felt like I'd already missed a lot of days. So last week, I finished the week with 68 miles. I normally never run on Sunday. I actually had not run a whole lot that week. And with my sickness and everything, it was Sunday. That's technically, I considered that the last day of the week. So I ended up running 25 and a half miles. And I did that by doing 14 and a half in the morning and like another 10 something in the evening. So, yeah, really close to 15 miles in the morning and then like another 10 and a half plus in the evening. So in total, about 25 and a half. And then I did the same thing the next day. So that's back-to-back days of 25 and a half miles of jogging. And Monday, I was actually hoping to do a speed workout. And in fact, I got this new pair of shoes. It's, I think, Nike Zoom X. But yeah, my legs were just not feeling it. So it ended up just turning into another easy run. And then Tuesday, I actually took off from running and I played like 3 hours of basketball, just wanting to still stay active. It was very cold and windy, and also, yeah, my legs were feeling pretty shot from doing 51 miles in the last 2 days. But then, yeah, I would say I recovered, but at the same time, when I was playing basketball and I was playing indoors at this YMCA, and I was doing some full court games, half court games, and for me, it's fun and it's just a good way to move. Like, it's a good way to get an intense workout that is not as intense as running. So in a way, I could recover by doing that. But I ended up like landing on my hip pretty hard, so then that caused some more pain. And then I would say today I actually did 13 miles jogging in the morning and another like 10 in the evening, and I feel a lot better. I do still feel some of the pain on that hip, but for the most part, my legs actually don't feel terrible. So to me, it just goes to show that whatever I'm doing in terms of recovery, I have the ability to recover really fast, but I do think that doing those 25 plus mile days, even being jogging, was just a little bit too much for now. And a big part of the reason I did that was like I was just eager to get back because I felt like just already missing so many days with work and the sickness, and my routine has just felt off, especially after coming to New York for vacation. I don't know, I'm struggling to, I wouldn't even say, I mean, get like I've been getting really good sleep, but I'm struggling to get my a lot of times my first run I won't end up doing that till 11, so then it's I'll wait till later in the evening to do my second run. And to me, like I want to at least, I don't know, I want to do that second run earlier and I want to do that first run within an hour after waking up, but that's just been a struggle as well. Yeah, at the end of the day now it's so yeah, I basically ran over like 23 and three-quarter miles today, and I got the race tomorrow. But that's the thing, like originally I was like wanting to do well with this race, and then after that I was like, I'm hoping for maybe a PR. Because originally my goal was to break 113, and then it became like PR, and now I'm not trying to doubt myself, but I do think PRing is going to be tough, just based on how my legs feel and based on just everything that's gone on. However, I do honestly, this might sound silly, but I want to treat this almost as like a recovery race where I can still put up a solid effort, but I'm really just I'm at this point, my main focus is the marathon. So I don't want to be tapering for halves or shorter races. I'm really just fully focused on getting the mileage back up to what I was doing and then really getting back to getting better speed sessions. But to me, it's tough because I want to get up to what Kelvin Kiptum was doing. And yeah, I know that's crazy, like the 180 miles, but I noticed that mileage is just like core. So to me, I want to be safe. I don't want to get injured. And I'm grateful that I've never had a major injury. So even when I've overdone it, I'll take maybe a day, maybe two off at most, and I'll be better. And I'll do other things in the meantime. But now I've got all this recovery stuff like the stretching, the nutrition, the sleep. And for the most part, even if I do overdo it, like I'm able to like say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I may have overdone it for these last days, but now, I might take a day off and then come back to it, maybe do some less. So to me, yeah, doing maybe 13 and 12 and 9, 13 and 9, 13 and 10, that's less than doing 14 and three quarters and then another 10 and three quarters. Like that definitely helps with that. And then getting back to the speed. And then obviously, like sometimes obstacles happen, like illnesses and work and stuff. So that's just stuff I need to, kind of work around, which obviously can be very frustrating. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with you because I'm hoping to do well for this race. And then I'm probably going to do a mile warm up and then I'll cool down and I might even run later in the day. But I'm really just focused on getting the mileage back and just really building that base. And then, yeah, my main focus, the next marathon I got is in May. I'm trying to move to Colorado where there's going to be hopefully warmer weather. And yes, Colorado does have warmer weather. But anyways, I just hope, yeah, I just want to say making this content is just tough for me because I'll be honest, yeah, I know it can sound pretty boring just listening to me go on and on. And I really do want to start making better content, but it's just tough because I feel like, one, there's a lot of the things like to make better content just involve a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of money and energy. That's the biggest thing, really, because I'm just someone who really loves being active. So even when I'm not running, it's hard for me to just, I don't know, I guess sit down and do the editing on my own because I find it really boring. And same thing with the filming. It's really hard to film. Like I really don't want to be like filming myself running, like carrying a gimbal or a camera around. And that's why I really want someone else to film me. But obviously that's hard to find. I might find a friend who's willing to do that every now and then, but to find someone consistently doing it is going to be really hard, or that'll just involve paying someone a whole lot of money, which I just don't have. Then, as far as like other things, like I've looked into lots of stuff, like even like animation or AI and stuff like that, but they all cost a lot of money. So I would say right now, money just seems to be like the biggest burden because pretty much, yeah, everything's so expensive nowadays. I think like I laugh and joke and I say, I might as well start charging you to breathe, right? Because like gym memberships and groceries and like all this, like everything is just so damn expensive. And even running, I used to always think like running was super cheap. I used to think, oh yeah, a sport like baseball is like way more expensive because you got to get all this gear and all that stuff. But then I realized like after really getting more into running and wanting to run at a higher level, to be honest, I don't think it's much of a difference between running and because I used to love baseball a lot, because I thought about it and I'm like, okay, you know what? These shoes are expensive. I'm gonna have to replace them every, I don't know how many months just with all the mileage I put into it. On top of that, whatever supplements I use, the food, to be honest, if you're playing baseball, you probably don't need to be getting that much food because like you're not doing a whole lot. So don't get me wrong, it's a great sport. I love it, but yeah, you're not gonna need to, have an insane amount of calories, carbs, and all that stuff as compared to a runner. Yeah, with baseball, yeah, it actually costs a decent amount of money for the equipment and everything. But you got to think about it like this. If you're training at a lower level and you're just casually running and you're not investing all that time into getting a good pair of shoes and coaching or whatever, right? Races, then yeah, I would definitely say running, could argue it might be cheaper, more accessible because as compared to baseball, you probably will need friends to play with. You can do throwing drills on your own, but obviously that can get boring. There's only so much you can do on your own when it definitely is a lot more helpful to have another person to throw it with, and then maybe a facility or whatever. But once you get to the higher level, I really, honestly, it's crazy. I said running is cheap and more accessible. I gave a speech about it, and now I'm like, that's just completely wrong because, yeah, if you're doing it at a lower level and you're just getting a crappy pair of, I don't know, like shoes from the Nike factory store or whatever, yeah, you can make that work. You can go run outside. But if you want to get more advanced, obviously, that just involves a lot more time, a lot more money. And I would say it's honestly not really cheap. Like all these, like whatever supplements you use, all the food that you need to get, the races are hella expensive. Any traveling that you have to do, that's expensive. Any gear that might not be terrible because that could probably last you a while. But yeah, the shoes are the biggest thing. I'm not even using energy gels. I need to figure out a better fueling strategy for that, possibly. But obviously, that can be expensive. Yeah, so re in reality, running is really not cheap. From what I've heard, there's the elite marathon runners will have this special pair of shoes that they only wear for a race, and it's 500 bucks, and they only wear it for one race. So just imagine that. So yeah, I just want to end off by saying this is my journey. I'm really working on wanting to make some better content, but I would say the key is just consistency, just getting back to it, finding ways to fit it in, even with all the activities that I love doing and work and all that stuff. But it's something I'm passionate about. And even though I may not have all the views that I want, like I think I definitely don't want to give up. And I feel like it's something that God wants me to do to help inspire other people. And I think over time, even though it could be discouraging just not getting the views, I feel like there are some people out there that are still that have seen my content that have that it is helping other people. So that's all I got for today. Hopefully I can get a good night's sleep. And I gotta just say one more thing. No matter how depressed you are, if you think you've hit rock bottom, just understand that at least you're not one of those people who shows up like 18 hours before the ball drop, crack of dawn, and just wears a diaper all day. At least I hope you're not one of those people. Because I've grown up in New York, but I now grow up in the city. But I don't know. It doesn't matter how low you think you are, as long as you're not one of those people, you're fine. Because that is just, I don't know. That is just pathetic. Anyways, that's all I got. So peace out. Let you know how the race goes. And yeah, we're just gonna keep going. So thank you.